Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Eric. Eric is from Dominican Republic. So let's see what Eric has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Eric.
Hello, William. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Excellent. Very good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview today. Thank you. So tell me, where are you from?
I am from Santiago, Dominican Republic. This is the second biggest city in the country, and usually the country is known for Santo Domingo or Punta Cana, where everybody goes and does wedding. But over here is just kind of a mellow metropolitan city.
I see. And what's the best part of living in Santiago?
I think the best part of living here is that it's not as overwhelming as a big city, but yet you have a lot of the amenities from a big city, such as cultural places, such as museums. There's good transportation. There's also a lot of options for food. In the last couple of years, places like food trucks, they have become very popular. They have like food truck towns with 10, 15 different places where you can go eat with your friends. And there's a good nightlife. We're also close by some mountains. Some people like to hike them. Not very many people, but it is fun. That's what I like about this city. It has a lot of the things that a city should have, but it's not very overwhelming.
And Santiago is the place where you were born and raised?
Yes, I've been living here since I was born.
And how far are you from Santo Domingo, the capital?
About 2 hours, about 2 hours away. 3 hours with 3 hours with the traffic in Santo Domingo. It
depends. And what do you do for work, Eric?
Well, right now I am working for a call center, and I wouldn't like to share exactly what I do in the call center, but it's just assisting clients that generally until 9 p.m. And with this project, what I like is that I have the option to do chat support instead of doing just calls. And I prefer that a lot more than doing calls.
I see. Yes. Eric, before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
One thing my people might say that I'm crazy for is that I kind of like walking at night. You know, sometimes when I feel like it and I don't want to take an Uber or something, and it is the middle of the night, I will prefer just to walk. I don't know, something just takes over me, and I just go. And the streets are desolate, completely desolate. There's no, and I don't know, maybe at the movies or somewhere, and I just start walking, pretending to get to a better place, to get the taxi to like a better location, but I just keep walking.
It's like a therapy when you walk. Yeah, your mind just blow away.
I can definitely see it that way. I can definitely see it as something just to blow off some steam. Like, let me just do it this way. Let me just go ahead and walk. And when I walk, I definitely think a lot. I definitely do a lot of thinking.
Amazing. Very good. Right. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Of course. Let's go.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay, full of random fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Eric, before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
I understand.
Right, first question for you is, what makes you most uncomfortable about dating?
dating, most uncomfortable. Well, over here, I would say is lack of options. I guess at my age right now, in this particular city, I would say I have seen everything that I have to see. If I live somewhere else, I know that I will have more options. So that's definitely what sort of makes me more uncomfortable about dating. Because
Hmm.
I don't really have a problem meeting with anybody, but there are very few people around here that I am interested in, and also that at the same time would return my advance.
Are you one person to go on a date with you? What this person must have and must not have?
What they must have. Well, I'm not really I'm not really very like about to ask anybody to have any particular. I and do you mean physically? Maybe. Well, I mean, if we're talking about what physically attracts me, I generally do. I'm generally very physically attracted to guys who might be taller than me. That's not set in stone,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that upon like when I first see somebody, I definitely notice that. I definitely notice that that guy is taller than me, but they don't have to be. And that's a weird thing. I don't know if I should have put that on the record because I've had some situations where some guys because they read on a dating app that I wrote that I gravitate toward guys who are taller. They sort of say, "Oh, you're not gonna like me because I am shorter." You don't know that. Definitely that.
Yeah, I think on dating apps, you never know, you don't see properly how the person, is taller or it's shorter. It's a bit tricky on dating apps.
Exactly, and definitely, I really like sometimes in the different apps, different profiles. I like when some people there are some apps that allow people to write a lot more, and I
Mm-hmm.
really like when I can read a lot of what these people wrote because it's an entire Washington Post article there, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting to get to know somebody that way because a lot of people are really the older they get, they are more set in their ways,
Yeah.
and it's good to okay at least I know what you like and what you don't like right away even if it took me a long time to do.
That's funny. Next question, Eric. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
Um, well if we're talking about like middle school, yeah, maybe I would say there was this girl called Stephanie, and I would really sort of growing up as somebody who was um, repressing a lot of who I was. Definitely with her, it's not like I was open with her or whatever, but there was an ease to being with her and to being her friend. And I really had a good time being with her and studying with her. There were a lot of things that I got to know through her, and she was always a lot of scary situations that happened with her too that I learned from a lot, and I did learn a lot from being her friend. I remember I saw her about a couple months ago when I was going to school to pick up my cousin because she has her son one of the same schools, and it was good to see her again. So
Well,
yeah, it's definitely because when you're growing up with somebody and you're creating sort of all of those formative memories, and especially when you're in seventh, eighth grade. Yeah, so it's definitely somebody that I really appreciate and knowing because back in the day, I wasn't really relating to a lot of the boys that were around me for different reasons.
I think when you meet those childhood friends, there are so many memories that when you meet them, there are so many memories that you're going to talk about because for some reason they were a part of our childhood. And, you know, the time when you're growing up, you get to know yourself better. And, you know, those friends, they always going to be your, you know, very best friends as young age.
Exactly. I mean, I don't really see her a lot these days, but definitely the time that I got to spend with her, it was great.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, in your opinion, what do you like the most about being from Dominican Republic? There is something special about the country that you like the most, that you are very proud?
Our nature. I really love our nature. I really like our mountains, our rivers, our beaches. I really like that. There's also sort of a general appreciation in the country because of that. There's obviously, as it happens in many countries, this line of patriotism that is very surface level. It's very about finding an enemy and fighting against an enemy. But I am very patriotic about our natural resources, about how beautiful it is to go hike the biggest mountain in the Caribbean for days and just um, taking it all in with all that clean air, clean rivers, and also going to beaches that are well taken care of. Uh, that's something I really love about my country, going to amazing waterfalls,
Mm-hmm.
and also barrier reefs and mangroves. We're very well known for mangroves too. Such a great diversity in nature and national parks. That is something I really love about my country and that I really try to highlight when people are going to come here.
And how far are you from the beach?
Right? 1.5 hours. The closest city that has a beach is Puerto Plata, which is another big tourist hotspot in the country. And there are many beaches around there. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
I see. All right. Next question is, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
I would say, I mean, this is kind of a cliche answer, but it's sort of a mixture between my parents. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more from my dad, but also a lot from my mother, definitely, because from my dad is somebody who is very sure of himself. He was never somebody who cared what anybody said. He sort of instilled that security in me a lot, and I really appreciated that growing up. And from my mother, I guess what I got from my mother a lot was discipline. My mother was a little bit of a helicopter mom. Yes. So it was a little bit of a balance because my dad was somebody who wanted me and my siblings to learn us to sort of make mistakes sometimes and learn from the mistakes. But my mother was somebody who wanted everything to be planned out and that there couldn't be any mistakes. So it was an interesting balance of growing up with parents like that. But I definitely learned a lot from sort of that clash in the two of them.
And you said you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Okay, you are the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
The oldest. Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
I'm probably gonna give you an answer, and I'm gonna think to myself later, I should have said this other thing. But the first thing that really pops into my mind is Chicago. I really like that. I really like that city. I've been there several times now. Every time I go, I really like the vibe of the city. I really like how diverse the city is in terms of everything it has to offer. It's kind of similar to Santiago, obviously a lot bigger, but I really like when I go there. There's always something different that I can do. I really love that city. Ever since the first time I went there, I love that city. Every time I go on vacation, I try to make a stop. I really love it.
And how, what's your connection to Chicago? How did you just went for the first time as a vacation and you just got connected with the city, or do you have friends there or family?
But right now I do have friends there that I visit when I usually go. But in the first couple visits, yeah, it's always been friends. But the first visit it was with my family that we did a trip over there for a couple days, and we generally just explored the downtown area, and we had a great boat tour that they call the Skyline Tour on the Michigan Lake. And that was really amazing because the city is gorgeous, both at night and during the day. So that were something that really struck me definitely was the beauty of the city and also how the downtown area where a lot of the activity happens is so well planned out because a lot of the museums that people want to see are close by. The riverfront is close by. The parks are close by. I really liked it.
Ready for another question?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. Next one. Before the next question, tell me how is being gay in Republic Dominic? Sorry, I'll say it again. Because I'm from Brazil, and we tend to say Republic Dominicana. Yeah, so in English it's the opposite. I'm sorry again. Okay, Eric, say again.
Same in Spanish.
The same in Spanish, yeah. Right, Eric. Tell me how is being gay in Republic Dominic? Again, I said again wrongly. Let me just think in English properly.
In Portuguese, it's all right.
Eric, tell me how was or how is being gay in Dominican Republic?
Well, to put it simply, I always tell people that you can be yourself openly if you have the guts to be yourself openly. But you sort of have to deal with the little bits of homophobia that are going to be sprinkled around. Because there are many slurs that are still sort of used in the colloquial sense, and people don't really see them as very offensive because they just think that they're speaking normally. They're just they're calling somebody the F word instead of just because they are mad at that person. Yeah, you have to sort of deal with that. There's a lot of again in the personal sense. I would say it's sort of different for everybody. It depends on how much let's say privilege you have. I would say because if you grow up, well, no, let's say that it generally depends. It definitely it's personal in the sense that how much you're willing to take and how much you're willing to be out, because there are different levels. There are people who they are gay, but they sort of do not, and you know that they have a partner and everything, that they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but they don't really. They kind of hide it a little bit. They just keep it to themselves, or they keep it to people that are around them that they trust, and they don't. Sadly, they probably do not feel comfortable enough to go out and share it with the entire world in the same way that straight people do. Naturally, yes. There's also some issues regarding lack of institutional backing, because over here we don't have marriage equality. There are no legal protections for discrimination. And that is very much a result of the general homophobia and machismo itself. but it's also a general lack of sort of lack of good institutions in government that are there. They are not very focused on. They're not very focused on social issues like that, which is something I hate. They're not really social issues. They are very much personal and very much um, day to day issues. Because if you cannot marry somebody who you love, that is a very personal issue to you. That is not something that anybody should be having an opinion on, which is what is exactly how I feel about it. I don't really like when people try to pretend that I need to have the permission of the entire country to marry the man that I love because I don't need it. Do you? I mean, does the president need the permission of the entire country to marry his wife? No. So why do I need the acceptance of the church and the acceptance of whoever and the acceptance of somebody who is never going to meet me for me to marry whoever I want? That's BS. But I guess it's a lot. I guess it's a kind of easy to sometimes just stoke a moral panic about us as well. That's something that a lot of people try to do. But yeah, at the end, you can be openly yourself if you got the guts to do it. But you're gonna have to deal a lot with all that crap. You're gonna have to deal a lot with.
And for you, growing up as a gay boy, did you always have the support of your family?
Sadly, no. I would definitely say that what growing up, and I don't know if it is that I am suppressing anything, but I don't really feel that even though I didn't have it, even though I didn't have it easy, I don't feel that it really struck me that bad. It did struck me at the time. At the time, I was feeling horrible, but as I guess as I grew up, and I guess the more I become more nonchalant about what people think, it's easier to let go of some things. Because when I was growing up, because I was not conventionally masculine, let's say, and my parents would sort of force me to do sports that I didn't want to, which makes me hate baseball right now. Yeah, I was more into arts and stuff and into swimming, which is the only sport that I've ever liked. And they also tried to bring me to psychologists so they could sort of fix my behavior issues, as they would say it. My voice wasn't breaking when it was supposed to break, and I was made fun of a lot because of that. Um, and they will make exercises so that my voice will break and it would stop sounding like I was a little girl, whatever. It was just a lot of nitpicking about a lot of little things that is just so when you're growing up, it feels so demoralizing because you're not walking a particular way or talking a particular way or behaving a particular way because you want to hurt anybody. You're just naturally blossoming as you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's something that I really wish a lot of people understood. When you see your child and they are sort of presenting themselves in a way that maybe you didn't expect it was going to be that way, or that it is not the way that generally, culturally you expect your a man or a woman to be. Just try to be more. I wouldn't say supporting because that's a given. I would say just go with the flow and just try to protect your child from any harm that might come to them from other people because of who they are. Because that is what I feel parents should be doing. They should be protecting their children from anybody who wants to hurt them simply because they are not like the majority.
I see. Yeah, let's always hope for better days and better world, so the more understanding for sure.
Definitely.
Next question for you is, what scares you the most about your future?
What scares me the most in the future is that I don't know what I am doing right now. Yeah. I mean, it scares me, but it sort of also, I guess, comforts me in a way, because since I am not setting big expectations for myself, so to speak, I am not really stressed about my future. I'm trying to something I did learn throughout the lockdowns and everything that has happened. Because let's be real, those these 2 years, it feels like they didn't happen. Like a lot
Yeah.
happened, but they feel like it was just a jump.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and throughout that time, I sort of kind of learned to first off to take every day as it is. Obviously, I am going to be doing the things that I have to be doing, and I try to be responsible with everything. But I try to take every day as it is, and I also try to take in um, every experience that I can and that I want. A good example of that is that I really like going to concerts now. Oh, sorry, an alarm went off.
Okay.
Yeah, but something that a good example of that is that with concerts, I really like going to concerts because I never know when this particular artist that I really like is going to pass away or stop making music. So whenever I have a chance to go see, I don't know, St. Vincent, Lady Gaga, Daddy Yankee, someone like that, I go to the concert. So yeah, definitely what makes me more afraid is that it sort of makes me afraid, but comforts me is that I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Amazing. All right. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
The money, financial. They need to know. They need to know who has debt, who has what they earn. They need to know what assets they have. They need to know all of that. Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of people do not talk about that, especially if they're gonna get married. If you're gonna start sort of like start a relationship and marriage is not in the question yet, I guess what you really need to know about the person is the stuff that they like, so that you can focus on. I think when it comes to relationships, I always like that when there's a reciprocity involved. You know what I like, I know what you like, and I try to give you what you like, and you try to give me what I like, and that is sort of how the relationship works, how it supports itself. And the more we learn about each other, the more we learn to love each other.
Yeah, I think relationship is like a maintenance. Every single day there is a new challenge, there is something that you need to deal with or talk about. I think that's what relationship. It's not just flowers, beautiful skies, it's a lot of challenge as well. But it makes exciting, and that's how you grow. That's how you get more connected with your partner, growing through those situations for sure.
Exactly, and also you should never be afraid to ask your partner any questions, because if you're ever afraid to ask your partner any questions, maybe that's not the place for you. Because the more you ask questions, the more you get to know each other, and the more you get to fall in love with your partner. Absolutely. The more you know them.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Right, before the next one, as I could see how proud of you are, from your country, you like the nature, but there is something challenging about the country that you think that if you could change or if you could improve, there is something about the country or not?
I know I have the answer. It's education. I would really like the education in this country to be not just better, but to be complete. And that all of the public education centers will be places where everyone that goes there is able to learn as much as they want to be able to flourish, and to be able to maybe not just learn the basics, but also learn how to learn abilities that they might want to use in the workforce, or they might want to use later in their lives. Also, I I think there's also this really silly idea sometimes that, oh, because you have to leave this for the parents to teach, or you have to leave it for the parents. And I'm like, whenever people say that this particular topic or this particular topic, it has to be left for the house or for the home, that means that they don't want it to be taught at all. That is what that means. And people generally say that about sex education or reproductive education. And I think that schools are the best place to go ahead and do that, because they're going to have an educator who is going to present all of that without, he's going to present the reality of what things are without any judgment. And so that anybody who is going to grow up, because let's face it, almost everybody is going to have children, is going to have a sexual life. So everybody deserves, and the responsible thing to do is for everybody to know how to do that safely. It is not good to go ahead and try to sidestep that like it's not something that happens or something that everybody wants to avoid. So yeah, general education so that everybody gets to become the best person that they are, and also so that everyone realizes that we're all in this together, that we're all siblings in this society, and that there's no reason why we should be perpetuating prejudices. Prejudices take us nowhere. There's no reason why we should be prejudiced against anybody for any particular reason, unless they are hurting somebody else.
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, I think everything comes down to education. You know, education, it can change the words. You know what I mean? Since like when you give very good education for children, I'm sure they would be a very different person when they grow up, for sure. Yeah. Okay, next question is, what makes you most proud?
Proud in general?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that I didn't expect to get to a point where I will be so sure of myself that I sort of generally don't care what other people think about me. I generally do not think about what my family thinks of me. I mean, obviously, if I am not paying my rent or something, I would like people to worry about that. But when it comes to me as a person, me growing up, when I was like, I don't know, 18, 16, even 22 or 23, I am 30 right now. I never saw myself getting to a point where I am so secure in myself that I can just pick somebody down the curve and tell them, you're disrupting my peace. I'm not gonna be dealing with you anymore. And to be able to know that I don't have to that I have to pick my battles, that I don't have to get in every argument, that I know exactly when somebody is coming at me in bad faith, and when somebody is trying to, they're trying to rattle me, but I'm like, no, I already said what I had to say. If you want to read something into that is not what I said, that is your problem. Your problems with me are your problems. They are not my problem.
Interesting. Ready for the last one?
Yeah, I am. Let's go.
Last question. Let's do it. Last question for you is, what is the silliest or the funniest thing that you have posted online on social media?
The funniest?
The funniest or the silliest, something that you go like, oh my God, why did I post that online?
Oh, wow. Well, I do remember when I was in my senior year, I had a group of friends that we always got together to have fun. And something that we usually do is that we wouldn't record ourselves. I will be the one recording, because when I bought a camera, I will be recording a lot. And I will be recording ourselves like doing stupid stuff, like trying to do a headstand or dancing to Pussycat Dolls or something like that. Yeah. So and I used to post it on Facebook and YouTube, and yeah, it will be just doing a lot of silliness for our senior year. It was really silly, just fooling around.
I think all of us, we had those moments for sure. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. One word for money.
One word for money.
Yeah.
A lot.
One word for family.
Together.
How about love?
Love. Crazy.
Sex.
The morning.
How about life?
Long.
Say again?
Long.
Amazing. Politics.
Forward.
Religion.
Religion. Personal.
Fear.
You say fear?
Fear, yeah.
Future.
Friendship.
Security.
Desire.
Love.
Regret.
Money.
Success.
Travel.
One word for wish.
What's the word?
Wish.
Wish. Peace.
Happiness.
Happiness. Travel.
One word for Santiago, your city.
Santiago. Fun.
And the last one now, Dominican Republic. One word.
Word. Improving.
Good, very good. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friends, what is the most beautiful thing about Eric, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What your best friend would say?
Would they say? One thing I generally remember in my senior year is that a group of my friends, they said that I was the sort of a problem solver. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not that I would do everything, but that when we had a lot of the pieces, I was able to sort of zoom out and see, okay, what we have to do is this, and people would sort of generally agree on what I proposed, or that I was able to see maybe something that could be done better, mm-hmm. and maybe improve a process or a result that we were looking at.
And that's something that you need to improve on, work on.
Motivation.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you see some work in progress?
It is, because, but again, it has to do a lot with the last 2 years of the lockdown or whatever, that I become a little bit more lethargic than before. I mean, I'm trying to battle it. It is, again, what happened in 2 years might take 2 years to undo.
It comes with time, for sure. Right, let's play now Eric in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, tell me, what's your favorite word in Spanish? What's their favorite word that people use in Dominican Republic that you go like, that's a word that I like the most?
You know what? I mean, I kind of like, I don't know if this happens in Portuguese. I really like the word love, amor,
Amor, yeah.
amor. I like that word because what I've noticed is that in Spanish, when you love somebody, it's serious. It's serious. It's not. It's not because in English, at least, people can say like, oh, I love this lamp and I love this supermarket. Like they say so, not like it doesn't matter. Maybe it does because if you found a good supermarket, you're gonna. But anyway, but yeah, the word is serious. When you say te amo, that means that you really love that person.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we see the different way as well. In Portuguese, when you say, like, eu amo, I love it, it's something different. Like, it's not, we don't say that a lot. Just say it if we mean it. It's something real. It's something very personal. Yes,
Right.
in Portuguese, the same. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
And any question? Or I thought you were gonna pick it from the the
Any question?
a question for you. What are you most proud of that you have accomplished with?
Wow, good question. Good question. Actually, I think something that when I think about being proud, it's about leaving my country when I was 19 years old, then come to Europe on my own, and starting a new life. Back in Brazil, I had plan B. If something goes wrong, I always had my parents there. But when I arrived in Europe, there was no plan B, just plan A. So, looking back now, I go like, my goodness, 19 years old is like, I'm very proud that, I started my journey here in Europe very young. And, life has been amazing. And also, it's been like a college. I think life teaches a lot every single day. And when you are alone, you don't have support of your parents. They're not around you. Good friends, they're not around you. Your family, relatives. It's, it can be a bit tricky because you don't have support. You just need to, to be, very focused what you're doing, and also very strong as well emotionally, because it's not easy. And when I look back, I think I'm very proud of that because, it's a journey that it's been great, amazing, challenge at the same time as well, with a lot of mistakes as well, with a lot of beautiful memories. So I think that I'm very proud of that 19 years old teenager, just crossing the words on his own, and literally starting a new life. So when I think about my life, I think that's something that I'm very proud of, for sure.
Yeah, 19 is very young to move away from.
I know, and actually now when I look back, I was like, now I understand about the age, but at the time I didn't, Now that I'm older now, I understand, my God, 19 years old, it's like, it can go really wrong, if you don't have luck, if you don't have like great people around you, it can go in the wrong direction. So I'm really, really proud that, and very grateful as well that, things turned out in a way that I feel very happy today. And I can say that I'm very proud of that, let's say, situation in my life. They're very proud of the step that I gave, back when I was 19 years old, for sure.
I'm very happy for you, William.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Another question?
Say again?
No, can I ask you another question?
You can, absolutely. You can.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking the YouTube channel, and I saw you have a lot of videos. Maybe I didn't see the first one, but I wanted to know what motivated you to embark on this project.
Again, back in those 2 challenge years, I think, everyone found themselves in a very challenging place, not knowing, it was a bit confusing, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress as well. People didn't know what was happening. Nobody was prepared for that. But at the same time as well, I think a lot of people, they found a lot of creativity, things that was hidden somewhere. they found it, just flourished, came along. Back that in 2020, I had this idea of doing something on YouTube. I'd like to do something, actually before the COVID, I was already thinking about doing something on YouTube where I could communicate with people, I could connect with people, but I didn't know which idea, I didn't know what to do. You know, there's so many ideas out there, people that are so creative, there are so many channels, and I was like, I'd like to do something different, something that, you know, nobody's doing right now. And I went for a run in the park one day, and suddenly this idea came along, you know. I said, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to organize some questions. I'm going to put in a box. I'm going to mix all of them. And I'm going to ask around people around the globe and see their opinion, you know, and connect with them as well. So the whole inspiration is about, you know, communicate with people. It's about let people be themselves, and also be myself as well. I think I forget that I'm recording. I just remember when I talk about, or you know, sometimes when I see the time, because for me it's like a therapy. What I'm doing here now is like a therapy. I feel myself, and yeah, the big inspiration is about being myself and let people be themselves as well, whatever they are in the world.
Excellent.
Did you have a good time?
Well, I had a great time. I love talking to new people and getting to know new people, especially one-on-one. I'm not very good with groups, but I really like getting to talk to people one-on-one.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Eric, for taking the time. Thanks for being kind and sweet. Actually, I must tell you something. When I was working for Disney Cruise Line, for Disney World, a few years ago, and I was on the ship, and a lot of people, they thought I was from Dominican Republic. People literally, like the crew, they were coming talking to me in Spanish, literally, and they were so sure that they started talking to me, and of course I could understand a little bit because it's very similar to Portuguese. But I said to them, my Spanish is not my first language. They were like, oh really? I thought you're from Dominican Republic. I was like, no, I'm not. I had several situations that some people from Dominican Republic, they came to talk to me, like they were so sure that I was from Dominican Republic. It was so funny for me because I never thought that. It was quite hilarious.
I can definitely see the,
yeah.
if you were in the, what's this place called? In Upper Manhattan, you will fit right in.
Amazing. Eric, before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Positive message? I mean, what I always tell people is leave your prejudices behind, and always never kill somebody's life. Never kill somebody's life. When you see somebody who is happy and blossoming, do not try to take that person down. Leave behind your prejudices and your preconceived notions, and try to learn with that person, because every human has a different human experience. Not every single person is the same. So just because a particular person is not living their life in the way that you want them to live their lives, that doesn't mean that you get to go ahead and hurt them or to affect them, or people who happen to be also like them. So yeah, just leave your prejudices behind and be more kind. Try to learn from people, and do not kill somebody's life, because the more we let people be themselves and blossom into themselves, the better the world will be, because we will be a more diverse and more bright world. Different people with different experiences that we're all gonna learn from.
Amazing, very good. Thank you so much, and we keep in touch. It was a pleasure connecting with you. Okay, Eric, keep in touch. Okay.
It was well, William. It was amazing, and thank you so much for reaching out. I hope you have a great weekend.
And you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Ciao. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.